Welcome back, everyone. Today is another Sabbath, the 16th of September, 2023. I'm joined with Michael, and we are going to do another session into Bruce Lee. And Michael has brought up the topic of smoke and mirrors in the ending of the last session. And we were speaking of John Dee and all of these occultic scrying and the use of mirrors, of course, in cinema, and around the time of 1973, right around the death of Bruce Lee. So, yeah, Michael, it's going to be interesting to see how you got this script coming together. So thanks for putting it all together for us. I know this is probably years worth of labor of yours, Michael, and only the Lord knows how much you put into this, but I think it's not the average script, not the average research either. So welcome, Michael.
Yeah, hi Brett, hi dear listeners, thanks for getting it done with last 3-hour session. This hour is supposed to be 90 minutes plus minus, so I hope that you will see that this now the continuation, and I hope that it's the second to last session that we do, because next session you will have the entire picture, that you can't say anything, that everything is a lie. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. I'm glad when this is over, because I know why I have hesitated to put a script on Bruce Lee, because I knew that would take so much time. But this is a picture of Athanasius Kircher, Ars Magna Lucis et Ambre. This is the art of light and shadow. This depicts all the necessary tools to create any illusion, which you see here, that somebody who is then here being portrayed with a staff and one eye symbolism is making a reflection somewhere, which is reflecting somewhere else. And I thought, okay, let's start with Athanasius Kircher, Ars Magna Lucis et Ambre. These are just images, of course. It's just like in a cinema, which are just images. So the images that you see in a cinema is not the real deal, because you are seeing just a conserved part of a movie, or just of very fast and running pictures, which are just creating the illusions of a moving picture, which is just only an illusion. Every movie is an illusion, because the pictures seem to be moving, because the eye can only cope for certain frames per second. That means that if you are running the pictures very, very fast, like in your thumb cinema in the old days mechanically, then you create the illusion of a moving picture or a movie. But it is every time an illusion, everywhere. There are no movie cameras. There are only photo cameras with a certain high speed amount of images, frames per second, FPS. So, in that book from Athanasius Kircher, these projections are being displayed and also being brought to the general public. In the 17th century, the scientific debate revolved around the celestial wonders considered as mere application of terrestrial geometries. At the time, Rome, one of the most important European theatre of experimental science, had a large group of international scholars, and among them Athanasius Kircher collaborated intensively on the transformation. I know that I found it anywhere. It's about the...
Can you search Magic Lantern?
No. It's just, you see that I have superimposed some things out of that picture here. It means autoritas sacra. That means the holy authority or something like that. And this is ratio, right. like ratio studiorum with a pen and a book.
So
and the one eye.
It's teaching then.
It's teaching, yes. You have a male god, which is in here depicted with the sun. Yeah, you have a female goddess, which is depicted with the moon, and in their science, so-called, they tell you that the moon reflects the light of the sun, right? The moon has been illuminated by the sun. in their science, in their worldly science. In the Bible, it's been depicted that God created two lights, the one for the day, the bigger one for the day, and the lesser light for the night. But this science, so-called, implies that the moon is just reflecting the light of the sun during night. Yeah, so you have then a Roman eagle or a two-headed eagle here on the bottom here, and you had auctoritas profana, which means the authority stone, auctoritas sacra, which means the authority stone, and auctoritas profana, this is profane, this is here for the general people here, that means profane authority. But I have the entire complete description of that first page, but not available at the moment.
One question.
Yes.
Would that be a phoenix? The double-headed phoenix?
Most likely it would be, yes.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
at least it's very strange.
Yeah. Oh, what the heck is that?
It's very strange because the female one is depicted
It looks
all
like
with
peacock there. Peacock.
Yeah. But nonetheless, things are being reflected here. Yeah, I think that we can agree on that. And here you see the inscriptions of all the zodiac signs. Yeah, this is Gemini. This is Cancer.
Strange. Yeah.
Cancer. This is Taurus, Libra, or Libra. Yeah. This is Uranus and Aquarius. Yeah.
Well,
this is
yeah,
Aquarius.
'cause they're mixing all this up.
They're
It's
mixing
all
everything
mixed
up. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
They were just.
the Jesuits. That's their main trade, is mixing doctrine.
Yeah, you see here Caesaris, and maybe I find that in that script later on, but I can't find it at the moment, the description of that page. But you see that here, you see a male god and a female goddess, or one who's ruling the it's called the big art of light and shadow. You see, this is light and this is shadow. Can we agree on that?
Well, yeah, but if it's an art, you know, there's a big difference between what the Bible calls art and what this world calls art. Because as far as I can tell, you know, this world is all about the art of deception, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Totally deception. This is all totally just steeped in deception.
Yeah, no wonder. Everybody wondered about the image of the beast, and this is the image of the beast, because the beast can create own images by just pretending something which is not there because of their sorceries. All the world was deceived. You see that if you just do a kind of illumination in the sky or hologram or what else of some flying saucers and so, that the majority of people would believe it if it is coming in the 8 o'clock news. That's my problem with all this so-called science, or science so-called. The people believe everything that the television tells them.
Yep. They don't research it themselves. Yep.
No. Yeah, so this
Far
is...
from.
Yeah, so you see that it's had nothing to do with your biblical God, because images are forbidden. Yeah, that's the first one. You see that this cover alone is a violation of the second commandment, of course. Yeah?
Yeah.
Because it depicts something in the heavens, because they are just here residing on clouds, or what else. They're just been traveling with the stars and what else, you see. But they have the heavenly auctoritas sacra, so they have the authority stone. 1646 work by the Jesuit scholar Athanasius Kircher. It was dedicated to Ferdinand IV, king of the Romans. That's why you see Ferdinandus there in that main page, and published in Rome.
King of the Romans.
King of the Romans, yes.
Oh, no, there's no Roman Empire here. They fell in 300, whatever.
Yeah. See, a second edition was published in Amsterdam, Netherlands. Ars Magna was the first description published in Europe of the illumination and projection of images. So, a television or cinema, Bruce Lee. The book contained the first printed illustration of Saturn in the 1671 edition, and also contained a description of the magic lantern, which was not a Jesuitical invention, but they promoted that heavily. Okay, so frontispiece, maybe there's the first page of that. Yes, that is that. Ars Magna Lucis Ambri frontispiece. The frontispiece for the book by Pierre Miotte combines the physical, metaphysical, and allegorical qualities of light. It depicts three realms, the divine, the starry, and the earthly. In the divine realm, the name of God appears in the Hydrotetragrammation, surrounded by the 9 order of angels. So your summation was correct. Immediately below, this is represented the 2 highest means by which humans can understand God's plan: sacred authority and reason. Yeah, you see sacred authority and reason.
Oh, by the way,
Ratio.
Michael,
Ratio.
I just looked up ratio.
Yeah.
Actually, the Latin meaning of ratio is logic, reason, judgment. Comes from Latin, which is the strong meaning of logic, reason, judgment. This meaning is also found in such words as irrational, overrated, rate, ratify, ratio, ration, rationale. There you go. I just want to clear that up.
In the center of the starry realm below is a celestial sphere with the sign of the zodiac, which we have found out as well. On the left side, the sun god, his body marked with the signs of the zodiac that govern the respective parts of the body. He carries a caduceus, a token of Hermes, topped with the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, remember, topped with the symbol of an eye that may denote Hermetic wisdom. Yeah, sure, a guy who never had existed. Huh? His feet rest upon the double-headed eagle of the Habsburgs. From the clouds beneath the hand emerges holding a lantern revealing the text of the book labeled Profane Authority, Auctoritas Profana, that is, the writings of an ancient pagan philosophers and other authorities. Yeah, who decides who is an authority and not, huh? Maybe the Roman, the Roman Ferdinandus, what is it here? Ferdinand.
The Caesar?
Yeah, the Caesars. Yeah, oh, there's also Caesar mentioned in it, huh?
Right.
Facing the sun god is the moon goddess, covered in stars and holding a shield which reflects the light of the sun down to the earth below. Which is the same principle as if you would just hold a spotlight or a torch in front of a mirror. Huh? She holds a staff topped with an owl, a symbol of Athena, and her feet rest on a peacock, symbol of Juno. By the way, it's just Roman gods and goddesses. And Athena is Greek, by the way. Come on. Beneath her, a finger points to the fourth source of knowledge, the senses, represented by a telescope casting an image of the sun onto the sheet of a paper. Above the earthly level appears the portrait of Archduke Ferdinand, to whom the book was dedicated. Beneath this, on the left, is a formal garden, perhaps demonstrating the life-giving properties of sunlight and of enlightenment. Enlightenment, yeah. Here the rays of the moon are cast into a moon dial. On the right, a ray of sunlight penetrates the roof of a dark cave, and a mirror casts reflections on the wall of the cave. That, of course, is a representation of Plato's famous allegory of the cave. Yeah, that is the first part, or the frontispiece, or the frontal piece of that.
Wait, what did it say? Universal horoscope? What?
Yeah. Come on, you don't want to have another 3-hour session.
The universal horoscope of the Society of Jesus. I can't help it.
I can even enhance that.
I get a laugh out of that.
I can enhance that. You see, it's a universal horror.
Sure.
Scope.
Exactly.
Of the Jesuits.
Exactly.
Yeah, horror means hour.
Society of Jesus.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you this.
I would say Society of Judas. That's more fitting for them. Yeah.
Yeah, but this, you see, you can do any sorcery you would like. You can let the dead people arise. You see that? This is an actor which is dead already, but it appears on a big screen as if he is alive. So it is a kind of phantasmagorian appearance of a divine spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you see that. What is that other than the temple here?
That's right. Court of a temple, yeah. Yeah, well, the temple is you, my friend. You're the temple. That's the problem. This is an attack on our psyche.
And I thought, okay, that if a mirror image or a mirror room or what else, could it have been anything to do with this book of Athanasius Kircher?
Good question.
Because this book has been written in Latin. And so you have to first translate mirror into Latin, which is called speculo.
Oh, to speculate, yeah.
Speculo meteri per umbram rerum im feculis et oculos menram reflexam. This is the translation. Heights and depths, the wealth of things to be measured with a mirror by the shadow of things in small pieces reflected to the eyes of the menfor. So, this is just speculorum and speculo all over the place in that book of Jesuit Athanasius Kircher, which is, if you would like to say that, the operation manual for cinemas. So,
Yeah.
this is the profession of Mr. Bruce Lee.
Yes, correct.
So,
Correct.
everywhere where is speculo or speculum, the speculis cylindricus, so the cylindrical mirror, the speculi parabolico, so the parabolical mirror, so the entire book contains of the images and explanation of mirrors. That book from Athanasius Kircher. I found that at least interesting, huh? Chapter 1 I have then tried to translate on the confibion, whatever that is, of mirrors. Of the convex, on concave mirrors and their prodigious operations with them through the four propositions maybe is being done.
Yes.
On cylindrical mirrors, on parabolical mirrors, describing the parabolical form, on the caustic mirrors or what else, mirrors, all over the place in the Jesuit Athanasius Kircher, Ars Magna, Lucis et Ambre. Theorema omnis res viva means every living thing. So you can reflect every living thing, as a kind of sorcery, so that you can really have a satanic altar, like Anton Sanolave said. Every living thing. This is most likely the correct interpretation or translation. Omnis res viva eo forma quavis alia speculo. Once again speculo. Cunque reflexa jubel reflex semis lineis comprehenditur. I hate that language for several reasons. So every living thing reflected in the mirror is including in my lines. Every living thing reflected in the mirror, including, where is he? Every living thing reflected in the mirror. And here you even have not only the reflection, but several of them. Maybe this Enter the Dragon mirror scene is also a resemblance of Athanasius Kircher's book Ars Magna, Lucis et Ambre. Because mirror or speculo in Latin has been mentioning all over the place. The truth is, this Jesuit, as generally the most of his order, have a great ambition to be thought the great and the learned man of the world, and to that end writes great volumes on all subject with gay pictures and diagrams to set them forth for ostentation, and to fill up those volumes they draw in all things by head and shoulders, and these too for the most part stolen from other authors. Like the magic lantern was not the invention of Athanasius Kircher, by the way. So that if that little which is their own were separated from what is borrowed from others, or impertinent to their present arguments, their swollen volumes would shrink up to the size of our almanacs. But enough of these mountebanks, come from Robert Payne in his letter of Gilbert Sheldon, 1650. Whatever Mr. Huygens, Magic Lantern, not Kircher, and others say of Kircher, I assure that I am one of those that think that the commonwealth of learning is much beholding to them, though there wants not chaff in his heap of stuff composed in his several pieces, yet there is wheat to be found almost everywhere in them. And though he doth not handle most things fully nor accurately, yet ye or what else furnished matter to others to do it. I reckon him as a useful quarries in philosophy and good literature. Curious workmen may finish what he but blocks and wrath use. He meddles with too many things to do any exquisitely, yet in some that I can name I know none goes beyond him, at least as to grasping of variety, and even that is not only often pleasureful but useful. Whoa, that is very hard to read.
Yeah, that's a hard one. Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. Very difficult.
Yeah, so front piece. Angels form an arc under the central light, which is Yahweh, the Hebrew letters for God. Daylight is the source of direct light, reflected light, and light reflected by night on right. Yeah, that is the reflected light of the sun. Yeah, it's a sun god.
Wait a second. Go back to that image there. Go to the very top. You see that NIN? I think, could that be why they came up with 9 Inch Nails right there? That guy?
I think that 9 Inch Nails, I think most likely came up from the IHS symbol of the Jesuits. But this is YHWH.
But that's Hebrew, right? So, yeah, the letters for God. See, he wants to be worshipped as God, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what all these musicians, they're all, corrupt to the core.
You don't have to know the meaning of this when you know this is a depiction of a sun god.
Yeah, right. But I'm just saying, it's just a blueprint for all kinds of BS.
Even this inscription has been surrounded by sun rays. So what?
Yeah, right. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
This is the very, this is just a study into history. This is a part of history, and actually, quite frankly, very interesting. It never do you ever get going on the subject of Jesuitism.
Yeah, who talks about this book? Who talks about this book, Brett? Yeah.
Unless you're a Jesuit yourself.
I came to this book by the science series, and then from the conspiracy series when I thought about the umbrella man. It has something to do with shadow, because Ars Magna et Lucis as Umbre. Yeah, so it has to do with light or Lucifer and Umbre, so the shadow. Umbrella. Yeah. Divine authority, a hand writing a book that absorbs light directly from the source of all light, oversees the daylight, and it is little higher than reason. The hand writing a book above the night, which received a more modest eye light. Below daylight is profane authority, which receives only lantern light. Yeah, this is just lantern light, profane. This is not divine, but this is profane, profane writings. Yeah, so, but Jesuits, they claim that they have, what else? They are serving the Pope, and the Pope claims to have the divine authority and is infallible. Come on, so you see that's the difference. They claim to have some authority, but actually,
they only claim infallibility when they are operating under what's the term now? I just can't quite retain all this stuff, Michael.
Yeah, divine authority and infallible when he's just preaching from.
Ex cathedra.
Ex cathedra, yeah. But the point is, when you speak about divine authority, a handwriting a book, that can only mean the Bible.
Yeah, but see, that's how they twist it.
Sure. Yeah, when you see that is here, then it's ratio. You see that, come on, a handwriting, and it's down below ratio.
Judgment.
Ratio studiorum.
Judgment of and studiorum means of studies.
Yeah.
So the judgment of studies is really what this means, ratio studiorum. Which is, of course, that's the plan. The quote-unquote divine plan of education for the Jesuits. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Go on.
For me, the point was that I was reminded here of this mirror room in Enter the Dragon, and I said, okay, Bruce Lee is an actor. We're talking about a movie company. Bruce Lee was been educated in La Salle Catholic College and in Saint-Francis Xavier School by the Jesuits. So if that is not fitting for a cinema star or what else, I don't know what is, because this is actually what is happening here. The depiction of a magic lantern means sorcery.
Mm-hmm.
The Satanic shadow dial, or the process of the lunation, the spiral shows the length of the moon's appearance in the sky with its rising and setting. The scheme gives the moon 28 phases, and the engraver Pierre Miotte has reversed the appearance of the waxing and waning moons for the northern hemisphere. And that's where they all got famous, especially also in China. They came up with all these drawings and all these explanations and all these mathematics and all these apparatus. And the emperor said, oh yeah, that's great. Why did they do that? Because the emperor said, okay, the more I know, or the more I pretend to know, to the average people, the more mightier I will get. Because they see the emperor then as a divine being. Because he knows that much and he can make horoscopes and predictions and all the stuff. I think that it also has to serve much with vanity. I think that's my humble opinion on it, no? You can go endlessly in all this stuff, but this is just a book from the 17th century. Come on, it's very accurate in the drawings and all the stuff. You see that this is just it's a art, yeah, it's art, yeah. So that is before the pictures arrived and before computers and all the stuff. So come on, this is it's a very exquisite work. It's full of lies, but it's just an exquisite work, you see. Ferdinandis and all the stuff. Yeah, you see that they got their money from these emperors, actually, who wanted to be worshipped as kings or so, that they really saw themselves as superior to the average people because they had all this fancy stuff at their disposal. Habsburgs, huh?
Right.
Yeah, and here you got the archer, and isn't Hermes or Mercury or no, what is it? Eros, isn't he depicted as an archer? Yeah, here you see Eros as a Sagittarius, as an archer. Yeah, he's shooting all these bows of love and all the stuff to the people. Yeah, there's Eros. This is your Catholic horoscope.
Oh, and then you have at the very bottom there, you have a little depiction of Ignatius Loyola genuflecting.
Yeah, just try to enlarge it. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Isn't that something?
Yeah. The shadows of
it's always vanity, eh?
The shadows of all the pins align to spell IHS. Yeah. Oh no, I just almost losing my voice of all the stuff that I have.
How convenient, huh? How convenient.
Yeah, where's the globe? Oh, the globe has been mentioned in 16. What was it? The Jesuitical Bible. Do it rain 1608?
Yeah, but isn't this a sundial or what?
I don't know. It seems like Asia also. ASASIA upside down.
Sure. Yeah, that's Asia. I think. Yeah. Right. You got it. Africa. And then you have America, of course.
Yeah, it's no wonder that they really are being venerated because they could all these do these projections, these wonders, these lying wonders, actually, huh? These lying wonders.
Yeah. Sure, of course. It's illusion, yeah.
Card 13 of Tarot Death. Yeah. Oh my, the two keys of papacy.
Yeah, right, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Where to start in this?
Wicked thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but they convinced all these people, actually. I got pages, there are dozens of these
Convinced?
pictures.
They probably bribed them.
Yeah, okay. And
you take the money or else.
Come on. Doesn't that remind you of something here?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Huh?
Absolutely. Rosicrucians, anyone?
Yes, and okay, next session.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Next session. The Max Planck Institute, Germany, have the large range of books by Athanasius Kircher. Yeah, sure, they have. Athanasius Kircher.
You were thinking Macau, Michael? Macau, that flower? Pentagram flower?
Yeah, but I want to go into this next time. Last session. That's why I didn't mention that. Yes, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah, that's
100 rubber points.
It took me a minute, you know.
No. You're correct.
Instantly.
Yeah, it's the beginning of the last script, actually. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so Athanasius Kircher, last man.
Kircher's magnetism. What?
Yeah.
Kircher came up with magnetism?
Where are you?
Right, previously Kircher's
So okay. I haven't looked that up. I can't answer that question.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not Athanasius Kircher, because Athanasius Kircher, according to Paula Finton, was the last man who knew everything. Oh, come on. So he was God, huh? He was God. It's an interview.
No. The last man that knew everything.
Yeah, but if you don't want me to go to sleep, I just copy the hyperlink and I will just try to Kircher's magnetism.
That would make him the man of sin, wouldn't it?
Kircher's magnetism. A magnetic Habsburg eagle. The Latin inscription around the eagle is "Et Borea es Austriacos," to play on words. A play on words linking the compass needle, the needle of both north and south, to the House of Austria. Oh,
jeez.
Okay, so you see that is all kind of paganism with Roman gods and or at least symbols and zodiac and all the stuff. Yeah, so you know that is just science, so-called. Okay, smoke and mirrors. Last time we were talking about this mirror room in Enter the Dragon and all the alike, and so this time this is the continuation about smoke and mirrors, and I had some idea. And I thought, okay, smoke and mirrors, smoke and mirrors, smoke and mirrors. There must be a connection, and maybe there are some coincidences. Let's look it up. Because I said, okay, when John Dee is using a black mirror or a scrying ball or a technique to get in touch with angels or with more or less fallen angels and demonic spirits and all the stuff, and he was affiliated with the English royalty, and then with Francis Walsingham setting up a spy counter service or a secret service, and I said, okay, let's look it up from this perspective, and I came to a quite interesting find. Let's look it up. The phrase smoke and mirrors, we're talking about, of course, I could have implemented that. I did not do that, not on purpose. I could have implemented also these images of the mirror room in Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee, but I think that you will know what I'm talking about when you are following 34th session now. So let's look at here. Smoke and mirrors is a classic technique in magical illusions that make an entity appear to hover in empty space. It was documented as early as 1770 and spread widely after its use by the charlatan Johann Georg Schröpfer, who claimed the apparitions to be conjured spirits. It subsequently became a fixture of 19th century Phantasmagoria shows. You see, the enemy always does it very complicated, and the Bible is so easy. The illusion relies on a hidden projector known as the magic lantern, the beam of which reflects off a mirror into a cloud of smoke, which in turn scatters the beam to create an image. What if somebody has used a hidden projector in the mirror room when Bruce Lee was present, and then Bruce Lee out of a sudden saw a Phantasmagoria show? Everything is possible in this world, huh? This idea just is coming up now in my mind at the moment. It's not part of the script here. But maybe they have also scared him so that Charles Lowe recalled that Bruce Lee had a bad temper during the shooting of the mirror scenes. If that is correct, you can't believe anybody. The phrase smoke and mirrors has entered common English and used to refer to any proposal that, when examined closely, proves to be an illusion. Or, just like the group imagination, is just an illusion. This is the apparatus. Nouvelle récréation physique et mathématiques. That you don't have to think that I am very profound in French. I barely made it in school with French. Yeah, and the mirror is also the subject of going through the mirror with Bruce Lee to go through the enemy. And in Enter the Dragon, we learn that destroy the image and you will break the enemy. And that is, of course, not the official origin of the script of Enter the Dragon, but came from somebody else. So this is, once again, the Earl of Leicester and John Dee's symbolic signature, when it is correct, when communicating with Queen Elizabeth. So 2 glasses and a stick The circles symbolize the private eyes, hence Daryl Hall and John Oates, a form of the James Bond 007 logo. So that also looks like a 7 here. Remember, Bruce Lee was about to maybe get the job of Lieutenant Hip. Yeah, it's coming from the hip. The power of Bruce Lee is coming from the hip in The Man with the Golden Gun from 1974. Was just a coincidence, no? When Bruce Lee would have then been played inspector or what else, somebody in official form, helping out the secret agent James Bond 007, then Roger Moore. So, Mr. D, James D, who has been affiliated with Francis Walsingham, also used a spirit mirror. Remember, MI6 is a British Secret Service of the British Empire, which then was ruling Hong Kong until 1997, in alliance with the Jesuits, the Church of Rome, and the US Secret Service CIA, which all are belonging to the Church of Rome, actually. In 1500s, John Dee works for spy master Francis Walsingham under the control of the Cecils family. He develops the cryptographic system Enochian alphabet. The Cecils control Oxford and Trinity College of Cambridge, the Royal Society, and Freemasonry. Although the Protestant British Empire and the Catholic Church, Catholic Church, CC,
Yeah.
are rivals and enemies, they work together to take over the opium trade to their common enemies, France, Spain, and Portugal. British agent Alexander Horn helps spreading the Illuminati hoax, which has then later been made by Alan Weishaupt. So then all other prominent, powerful families like the Massimo families founding other societies, Fabian Society, the Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. Members of the Rosicrucian Society of England found the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. And of course, then the line goes on and on. Samuel Mathers is married to the sister of Henry Bergson of the Society for Psychical Research. Robert Cecil family selects Aleister Crowley to become the new John Dee. British-Russian agent Helena Blavatsky founds the Theosophical Society. So, secret societies equals secret service. Charles Bonaparte, descendant of Jesuit Napoleon and Freemason Napoleon with the cold hand, organized the Bureau of Investigation. The Theosophical Society and the OTO developed techniques of dissociation through sex magic, yoga, and trauma-based mind control. Aleister Crowley ushers in a new era in Horus, 1904. 1908, the FBI is formed, pretends to fight organized crime. It's the same as the police sometimes in some states say to serve and protect. Yes, but whom? Yeah, the state. 1909, founding of MI5 UK with Vernon Kell and MI6 foreign with Mansfield Cumming Smith. Sinking on the RMS Lusitania as a false flag attack in First World War, blamed on Germany. Sure, we are always to blame. Woodrow Wilson, 33, established the Committee on Public Information. Woodrow Wilson, the creature of Jekyll Island, also comes to mind. Council on Foreign Relations, 1921. Winston Churchill also was a Druid priest, Freemason, and what else? Nobody knows except God. Crowley meets with Aldous Huxley and Gerald Hamilton in Berlin, so that I think that really it is most likely that Crowley was a Secret Service agent. Kim Philby also was agent. Exactly all the peoples are agents. Yeah, so where do you start? Winston Churchill, Special Operations Executive. A member of them was Christopher Lee, which we saw in The Man with the Golden Gun, which we saw in Circle of Iron. Jesuits, Georgetown, Sedgshore, Knights of Malta, Alan Dulles. Come on, you see, it's the secret societies equals secret service. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. You can't divide them. It's absolutely not possible. It's just they're doing everything in secret. And if you're doing everything in secret, then of course you're on the side of the god of this world, which is Satan. And what are they doing? Yeah, they are just putting out doctrines, and they are just eliminating people, and they are just starting wars. Economical crisis and all this stuff. Where do you want to start? Project MK Ultra, drug hypnosis and trauma-based mind control. Same day, James Bond, based on John Dee. Secret Service as heroic and sexy. Ian Fleming was MI6 like Crowley. Yeah, very interesting, very interesting. Because Crowley served as a role model of this all-potent arch-enemy of James Bond. Yeah, if you believe it. Spectre. And what's the name of the character now? Blofeld. Yeah, Blofeld, yeah. Then drugs, Aldous Huxley writes under drugs, Doors of Perception. And then we are coming also to the first James Bond film, 1962. Yeah, Lookout Mountain, Laurel Canyon had been founded, CIA and all the alike swing in London. Igor Stravinsky and the Ballet Rosé, a Russian ballet, created the ballet The Firebird, which is the Phoenix. In Vietnam, the CIA created Program Phoenix. Must be a coincidence, of course. Phoenix Program, Vietnam War, with Ted Shackley from the Clerkel. Haight-Ashbury, Grateful Dead. It's just a coincidence. Huh? It's just a Phoenix guy. Huh? Phoenix was the logo also of the band Queen with Freddie Mercury and 30 Seconds to Mars. Phoenix from the Flames is a song of Robbie Williams. Kanye West, Runaways, Lady Gaga's Marry the Night, Daft Punk, Get Lucky. All they have a Phoenix symbolism. The Economist announced a world currency with Phoenix cover in 1988. The painting of Per Krogh of the United Nations, Egyptian name for the sun. Un is the Egyptian name of the sun. How do you like that? Security Council is centered around the Phoenix. The Order of Phoenix plays a role in the mythology of Harry Potter. There is a flight of the Phoenix. Somebody is resurrected as a Phoenix. The character of Sam Worthington is reborn as a Phoenix in Avatar, that famous movie, best-selling movie of all times, if I remember correctly. Black Swan with Natalie Portman was a movie of Phoenix Pictures. Conchita Wurst, this disgusting thing, was used to push the gay transgender agenda with Rise Like a Phoenix as the Eurovision Song Contest Festival. Rise Like a Phoenix. That is pure Satanism, but who cares? He won. River Phoenix, Summer Phoenix, and Joaquin Phoenix were members of the Children of God cult. River Phoenix died at Halloween, that's the 31st of October, by the way, and it's not Halloween, but Reformation Day, in 1993, same year as Brandon Lee died, in the nightclub of Johnny Depp to be reborn as Joker, James Holmes, during the Dark Knight Rises at the Aurora Golden Dawn Theater in Colorado 2012. And if you are just being tossed around, you feel exactly like I do at the moment.
Yeah.
The 2012 London Olympics ritual represented the rebirth of Diana, so Lady Di, who died in the tunnel in Paris, as Catherine. Yeah, rise like a phoenix. That's OTO, Opus Templi Orientis, no? You see a pyramid, you see that phoenix. Yeah, you see a cup. My. But it's just a coincidence, of course. Yeah. Shooting in France and OTO Phoenix rituals, Didi Plaza shooting rituals, all a ritual. It has some resemblance to religion, actually. In 1993, the year one of The Magician, actor Brandon Lee was shot by Michael Massey, MM33, on the set of his last movie The Crow, very similar to Heath Ledger, who died before the release of Dark Knight. Later that year, River Phoenix died in Johnny Depp's nightclub The Viper Room. Has nothing to do with the snake. Brandon Lee's movie, The Crow, referenced his death at October the 31st, the evening before Halloween at the Sunset Strip. Rivers' brothers Joaquin Phoenix later played the Joker. Must be a coincidence. That's Brandon Lee, by the way. So Brandon was its accidental shot when the bullet was fired from the 44 caliber, which would then equal to the mass of the Phoenix 44. 2008, Sherlock Holmes movie set in the late 80s where Robert Downey Jr., born on the 44, like Heath Ledger, number 44, the number of Crowley's Mass of the Phoenix, with Obama being the 44th president, played the Sherlock Holmes full character of A.C. Doyle, Arthur Conan Doyle, trying to stop Lord Blackwood. 2010, Kanye West, Runaway, Fallen Angel Lucifer, Reborn as Phoenix, Alice in Wonderland, Johnny Depp replayed Brandon Lee's scene as the magician, the Mad Hatter with the orange hair, which is a direct resemblance to Alice in Wonderland and The Crow with Brandon Lee. But it must be a coincidence. And he's got orange hair. Come on, please. It can't be that. Look at this, which is extremely interesting. This is the father of Bruce Lee. And these are the pictures of the Hong Kong movie database from Lee Hoi Chen, which is an actor and the father of Bruce Lee. He starred in a movie of 1947, which is called, and this is no joke, I have looked it up in several languages, Hundreds of Birds Adoring a Phoenix. Well, it must be a coincidence then. The world is full of coincidences. So could it be that Bruce Lee, and I don't know who that is here, can have some ties to Freemasonry when Ars Magna Lucis et Ambre has also some ties with a phoenix? Or a double-headed eagle of the Roman. And of course the phoenix of the Freemasonry is the same as the Roman double-headed eagle. I think we all agree on that. And who to trust, because Tom Bleecker also is very positive about the Freemasons. And Freemasons are in front of everything, and everybody has a cold right hand. It's always the right hand, no? Most likely this is not the case here, but in all the other cases it's just the right hand, including the Beatles and Napoleon and Stalin. So what about then this Bruce Lee stuff? And once again I go to Charles Lowe, and Charles Lowe said Bruce Lee liked that special freedom. Sure, it's just Satanism. You see, they all tell us in symbols. Also this Back to the Future, this prophesied the World Trade Center, and also you see here the resemblance to 33, and you see even a resemblance to the I can't think anymore. What is it? 5th of November, Gunpowder Plot.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, and you can't trust anybody, because also the Manson family prosecutor Vincent Bugliosi wrote a book, Helter Skelter, and he's just putting out some disinformation. So these are all just actors. And if you know that you are behind everything is a big secret society, you won't be surprised that Golden Harvest is now called Orange Golden Harvest, and they have merged together then 1973, at least a part of that with Raymond Chow, Concord Productions, together with Bruce Lee, with Jack Warner being a 33-degree Freemason. Yeah, so Warner Brothers, 33-degree Freemason, he had a studio full of superstars: Betty Davis, Humphrey Bogart, Marlon Brando, James Dean, Clint Eastwood, and Daniel Radcliffe, which is the alter ego, or the actor playing Harry Potter. Remember Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix? Must be a coincidence then. Harry, Jack, and Samuel Warner, the founder of Warner Brothers Studio, were also members of Mount Olive Lodge number 506, makes another 11, California. Warner Brothers was a pioneer of films with synchronized sound, then known as talking pictures or talkies. It's all Freemasons. And it's very interesting, they are really doing the record companies and records, because it just being speed of the records are at 33 1/3 RPM. Come on, it's funny.
Yeah, well, of course, one third exactly.
Yeah, but 33 right. Also. Yeah, you see that you got 45.
Well, 33.3 is 1/3 of 100. Okay,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So when the Bible says that 1/3 of the angels fell from heaven, what does that say?
Mm-hmm.
It has a very profound meaning. Is what it is.
Yeah.
That's why they use 33.
Mm-hmm. Finally, I found somebody who can connect in the lines between Betty Ding Pei. It's like a scapegoat, like Lee Harvey Oswald. Somebody says, able to read between the lines, regardless of methods, 2 + 2 is 4. That PPP went to Orient on a mission from Switzerland. Switzerland is a papal state of the Vatican. That's where all paid mercenaries spawn, most outside of more, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody has a brain. Somebody has a common sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody has a common sense. You see, all these Ordi Templi Orientis are using the Phoenix. And Ordi Templi Orientis, OTO, of course, is famously connected with Aleister Crowley. And they have developed a system of 9 degrees close to the picture I got in my mind of Ars Magna Lucis et Ambre with the 9 angels. And you have also the symbol of OTO with the Phoenix here depicted in more or less in that mirror image of the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper's.
Peppers, yes.
No wonders, because they are Freemasons.
And with Aleister Crowley at the top.
With Aleister Crowley on the top. He's the head.
Yeah, the all-seeing eye, yeah.
Yeah, this is a mirror image. You see, this is here Edgar Allan Poe once, Edgar Allan Poe twice. A mirror image, like Enter the Dragon. A mirror image. Okay. 11. Remember 11, the number of Genesis chapter 11. Matthew Polly, biographer, claims that Bruce Lee was even paid $11,000 to give Sharon Tate martial arts training for her 68 film. Yeah, you read between the lines, huh? You read between the lines. Then they were going to Switzerland and Laurel Canyon. They're all in one boat. If you go into a coma, Popcorn Master says, almost die, get very sick, have pale skin, slur like you've had a stroke, you come back to the States to be checked out by a top doctor, have numerous tests on top of that, and there's nothing found, then that means something is happening to you in the other place where you live. Think about it, if the cause of himself passing out and almost passing away is inherent, then, for sure, they would have found something wrong at the top clinic. The cause of death might as well have been asbestos. It's interesting. Brittany Murphy, that's the 28 theory. I've forgotten it. Brittany Murphy also met her maker by this at the age of 32. David Tedman, the mind behind I Am Bruce Lee, was lucky enough to have interviewed 2 policemen who were on the force at that time. They say that there was a cover-up. Furthermore, Mang Hoi, Sammo Hang, Yuan Hua, Peter Chan Lung and many others will privately tell you that foul play was afoot. Lam Ching Ying didn't have to go on the lam because he kept his cards close due to the trials having as much influence in Hong Kong as Jews in Hollywood. When Bruce was pronounced dead, Linda asked Betty if she could back up the story that he died at home. The next day, Linda had his stuntman over for a banquet to celebrate his life. This would explain Charles Lowe's claim that he saw some of his stuntmen at Bruce's house after he died. One man, Billy Chan Wu Ngai. That guy. I know why I have cut the intro of this Bruce Lee session. In that, you see, with a mirrored room, where we talked about last time, with him.
Yep.
All serves a certain purpose. These are not just been randomly or just coincidences. So that is the guy who watched Bruce Lee doing his nunchaku action in awe.
Yeah, and that was Enter the Dragon?
Yeah, Enter the Dragon. And I can verify the quote, which is now coming from, we can also do nunchaku, which is coming now from Popcorn Master. I cannot verify the quote, but you can see him. Definitely in that picture.
There it is.
Now the computer is just doing his stuff. But this is Billy Chan, and I have forgotten his last name. But this is Billy Chan looking in awe at
Nagoy or something.
Yeah. But just that you know that it's this guy, huh?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay, you know that it is this guy. Okay, and this is a quote. I cannot verify that. One man, Billy Chan Wu Ngai, recalled that the guys were gossiping about how he was slain, speaking of Bruce Lee. She, speaking of Linda Lee, reprimed in a hysterical tone, "If I do not want to know how he really died, then why should you?" Compare this to Matthew Pauly's book, Bruce Lee and I. The head of the medical team asked her if she wanted an autopsy. "Yes, I want to know how he died," she says. You have always 2 sides of the coins, whom to believe. It's just not the truth. It's just opinion here. It's just the matter, whom do you believe? This is Billy Chan Wu Ngai.
Michael, this is another perfect example of exotericism and esotericism. Excuse me. Exotericism.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Exoteric and esoteric. On the outside, how do you present yourself to the world? But on the inside, what do you really believe? What are your little secrets here?
It is from an audio cassette which was available to buy through a magazine in the late 70s, the video says. It appears to have already been edited to fit the tape, as there is some discontinuity, and it ends with no gratitude being given to Linda. It was called Bruce Lee, The Last Interview, and contained Bruce's interview with Ted Thomas and also Linda's request to the people of Hong Kong to stop speculating on her husband's death, both of which are already on YouTube. And that would be very fitting to the quote of Billy Chan Wunegai, who said then... allegedly, Linda Lee said she reprimanded in an hysterical tone, "If I do not want to know how he really died, then why should you?" But there's even more to it. Bruce's oldest brother, Peter, had a sneaking suspicion about the butler Wu Negan, a childhood pal and butler that had his own family live with Bruce at his final home. Bruce's assets were in Negan's name. Bruce was a tax scammer, so the latter received a large sum of money from Linda's lawyer to sort this out after Bruce died. He quickly returned to England. In 1976, 2 insurance companies only paid half because they were unable to obtain a copy of the autopsy report, not because of what it included, but because what was missing. And this is the research of somebody else. It's like Kennedy, huh? What was missing? Pointing to something much more, especially when you consider that Dr. Donald Langford in a 1993 documentary confessed to removing files from Baptist Hospital. I cannot find this, but it's just a question, whom do you believe? Lee had bruises on his face which were consistent with somebody who had been attacked. His forehead appears to be branded by an iron which was then used to singe his left eyebrow so that onlookers got the hint from the angle. You know, as many know, the Chinese in Hong Kong and elsewhere are very superstitious, Tom Bleeker tells you. So, why is the left hand considered unclean in the Arab world? In many parts of the world, the left hand, or the left side, is considered unclean, usually because it is used for ablutions. If you are left-handed and visiting places like India, Nepal, and Middle East, you may have been to pretend to be
ambidextrous.
Thank you. It's incredibly rude to eat, pick up anything, or hand over money with your left. In India, the left hand is hand associated with personal hygiene. That includes putting on and taking off your shoes. It's also considered generally impure. That's why you should never use it to pass an item. In the Middle East, unlike in Ethiopia, it's considered rude to touch money with your left hand. It's rude also to pick anything up with your left hand. It's considered rude to eat with your left hand. In all the aforementioned countries where the left hand is considered dirty, shaking hands using the left hand would be out of the question, but it's also out of the question virtually everywhere else in the world. In fact, colloquially across the United States, the term left-handed handshake is considered an insult and refers to sincere promises. And that calls is, of course, to the scout handshake and more likely to the left-hand path. Yeah, so the left-hand path is always dirty and evil. And left-hand path is the path of not the righteous one, but the unrighteous one. That's why Satan is not sitting on the right side of God. Left-hand path. In Western esotericism, left-hand path and right-hand path are two opposing approaches to magic. The terminology is used by various groups involved in the occult and ceremonial magic. In some definitions, the left-hand path is equated with a malicious black magic, where the right-hand path is equated with benevolent white magic, which is the same thing, but the intention on the left side is to have to say something for you and not for the other ones. So it's also a kind of egoism. Yeah, left-hand path followers embrace magical techniques that would traditionally be viewed as taboo, for instance, using sex magic or embracing satanic imaginary. Yeah, this is common for billions of people out there, but they don't get it. Left-hand attainment, where do you want to start? There's so much to learn in this world that they're all just not being communicating with the truth, but with hidden symbolism. My. As the historian Dave Evans noted, homosexuals were referred as to left-handed, and while in Protestant nations Roman Catholics were called left-footers. For instance, Diane Fortune, founder of the magical group of the Society of Inner Light, and of course that's also the source of inspiration of David Bowie, also took the side of the right-hand path, making the claim that followers of the left-hand path were homosexual and that Indian servants might use malicious magical rites devoted to the goddess Kali against their European masters. Aleister Crowley further altered and popularized the term in the certain occult circles, referring to a brother of the left-hand path, or a black brother, as one who failed to attain the grade of Magister Templi in Crowley's system of ceremonial magic. Crowley also referred to the left-hand path when describing the point at which the Adeptus Exemptus chooses to cross the abyss, which is the location of the Choron or the illusory 11th Sephira, which is Darth or knowledge. We have learned that Bruce Lee has a singed left eyebrow. Okay? That's the right eyebrow, that's the left eyebrow. Okay, then we read further here. Chinese facial mole reading. The location of moles is greatly related to people's fortune, but we do not speak about moles, we speak about eyebrows. There are also some must-have idioms to say when something is urgent. This is the Chinese idiom about urgency, burning eyebrows. Not sure why, but eyebrows and fire figure heavily in the visuals of Chinese idioms about urgentness. I suppose there is nothing like the threat of burning eyebrows as a motivation to get something done. Dr. Lissette's autopsy report speaks. His examination found no evidence of foul play. The scalp is free of bruising and the skull shows no evidence of fracture, injury, either recent or old. There are no recent or old needle marks. Yeah, and then you know that the autopsy report of Bruce Lee is everything BS and just for the garbage can, because you can clearly see if that picture left in the morgue is authentic. You can see there are bruises and there is a damaged left eyebrow, okay? And eyebrows or burning eyebrows is a symbol in Chinese superstition for urgency, something to get done. So, I question, are there no injuries? Doesn't he have a swollen neck? Does he have a burnt eyebrow? Come on. Yeah, you see that everything is a lie. Yeah, either this picture is a lie or the autopsy report is a lie. Or maybe both are. Everything is a lie. The following 7 idioms all mean urgent with a different visual attached to them. All are commonly used. The daily Chinese expression. These are the Chinese letters for this. In the eyebrows and eyelashes, urgent. Yeah. Idioms of burning eyebrows make things happen very quickly. What can be said in a 4-character Chinese idiom, this is a very strict part of Chinese language, could need an essay or even a book to explain in English. Chinese idioms are separate word unto their own.
A separate world, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Not sure why, but eyebrows and fire figure heavily in the visuals of Chinese urgentness. This means in the eyebrow and eyelashes, urgent. Fire burning eyebrows, urgent. Igniting eyebrows, urgent. Fire burning eyebrows, urgent. This is the message or the symbol of the Chinese superstition or the Chinese idioms. And then you know what to think and to understand about the picture in the morgue of the burnt left eyebrow. So something was very urgent. That is at least the message that I think that almost nobody tells you. It's Huo Shao Mei Mao. Fire burning eyebrows means urgent. It's on the left side. Yeah, so that can mean, oh, there is urgency. Something must be done very quickly, because that character is trying to do something egoistic with the left hand, because it's the left eyebrow. Most urgent task at the moment, pressing and cannot wait, urgent, cannot forgive any delay, urgent, like the fire of the sun, urgent. When something is really urgent, you could reel off a mix of those. Something can be as urgent as burning eyebrows. Chinese language creates a sense of movement and a tendency towards taking action quickly. There is a push, a burning eyebrows, and a pull, the attractions of joining China's talking actions movement. You know, the Chinese in Hong Kong and elsewhere are very superstitious. Chinese astrology, face reading, eyebrows. Eyebrow, known as Bashua Guan Organon Longevity in physiognomy, is equivalent to the lifeline in palmistry. It shows a person's fortune between 31 and 34. Bam. So, when somebody is dying at the age of 32 and has a burnt eyebrow, then he's running out of fortune, I would say. While the long eyebrow suggests longevity, the short eyebrow, same with the short lifeline, does not necessarily mean short life. Eyebrow is also known as organ of brothers, which represents the relationship with brothers and sisters, hence brotherhood. For men, the left eyebrow suggests brothers, while the right suggests sisters. For women, it is the contrary. Generally, long eyebrows indicate the deep affection with brothers and sisters, while the short suggests weak affection. In modern society, eyebrows mainly represent the attitude towards friends. The long indicates many friends, while the short suggests few. So, the left eyebrow is being the lifeline, equivalent to the lifeline, and shows a person fortune between 31 and 34. And for men, the left eyebrow suggests brothers. And I'm always on the path of Freemasonry here, with the brotherhood, it seems. The eyebrows indicates one nature and temperament, while the eye is a window of the heart. Eyebrows can reflect one wisdom, though, and individual behaviorism. The brow represents sensibility, while the tip suggests sense. The arrow-shaped brow suggests a poor ability in dealing with sentiment, while the loose tip indicates asking for troubles. Nose represents wealth, while eyebrows symbolize rank. Those with good-looking eyebrows tend to enjoy wealth and rank. And didn't we see the mask of Bruce Lee and the coffin with very thick and very big eyebrows? That could also mean that that was a person of wealth and rank. Short eyebrows means people of short eyebrows are restrained, have few friends, poor conjugal relations, and pure fortune. Yes, and in the case of Bruce Lee, yeah, you figure it out on your own. It goes on and on. A broken eyebrow, if the eyebrow has a break or is thin in the middle, it suggests the death of one parent, brother or sister in early years, or hand fracture and injury. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Can you imagine? Takes a lifelong study. Scars, moustache. A man who is a bit cocky. In the 70s, the moustache took on a sexual connotation. There was the swinger mustache, the porn mustache, and the gay bisexual mustache. Oh, my. If you lose your eyebrow, got bruises, etc., you literally lost face. Lost face. You know how important it is not to lose face. And if you got a burnt eyebrow, it has to do with the left eyebrow, that something is urgent, something has to be done at once. That you have a problem with your brothers with the left eyebrow, and if you lose your eyebrow and got bruises, you literally lost face.
Well, Bruce Lee not only lost face, he lost his life.
Yeah, but you see, this is obvious for people in the Chinese belief. It's not obvious to us Westerners.
Right. No, of course not. No, it's not.
So the left side of his neck was swollen, a target of intense intent. The bottom of his neck looks slashed and pierced, scary discoloration. His Hong Kong coffin photos shows that his neck was covered in a weird way. And I'd say that you really see the glass cover from that perspective. Maybe that looks like a reflection.
Right. It does.
A reflection. Huh? Ars magna, lucis et ambre. Huh? You can't see that on this picture very much. I think that maybe it goes until here or so, I do not know, but you can't touch him. Can't touch this. Huh? But you see he's got big fat eyebrows, which could mean, in that picture, that he's a man of rank and wealth. My. So everything has a severe meaning here. Yeah, Bruce Lee also not had a mustache but a beard, which was unusual for Asian people that much. Alchemy. They want to create a homunculus, an artificial man. Which is also that strange thing going on since 2020 with the DNS stuff and all the stuff. And
DNA, you mean, right?
DNA, is it in English?
In English, yes, correct. DNA.
Desoxyribonucleic acid, and in German is Desoxyribonukleinsäure. Yeah, and so this is just DNS and DNA.
A little different.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, you have to have everything in your mind. You see that? Yeah.
Yeah, it's overload. Yeah.
Yeah. And once again, you see that everything is connected, even in the movie scenery. In Twin Peaks, we talked about last time of the victim of Laura Palmer and the FBI agent of Dale Cooper, caught between the black and white Lodge of Magicians. And this is actually taken out of a book of Aleister Crowley's Moonchild, to create a magical moonchild. So that is the same ritual that they went on to go to the moon on 20th of July 1969 to make the people believe that they could actually put a rocket into the moon's surface, the rocket being a male symbol of the phallus, and the rocket, the crater, being a female symbol of the womb. And then you create a magical moon child. A moon child. So, as in that depiction here of Moonchild with Vesica piscis, yeah, which are resembling the two female legs and their sexual organ. Yeah, to create a Moonchild. That's what Jack Parsons is about. That's what many rituals are about. That was Rosemary's Baby is about, and all the stuff. And also the moon ritual. The Moonchild, no? The male rocket or the solar rocket and the lunar or the female moon receiving then the phallus and then in their womb, in their crater, and then to create a magical moonchild. And people won't believe you because they think that is far-fetched or silly, but actually this is what the world is running on, is rituals. And secret societies equal secret services. So if there is something fishy about it, and you suspect the secret service behind it, then I would advise anybody to read the Bible, because the other way around, to get used by rituals, then you will be taken on forever, like I was the last month. I came across the strange fact that Brandon Lee was accidentally shot when a bullet was fired from the .44 caliber, and I said, that is very strange, from a .44 caliber, because I knew that Dirty Harry always said, the most powerful handgun in the world.
Right.
Brandon Lee was been accidentally shot, they tell us, by Michael Massey, which is MM, which is 33. On the 31st of March, 3 by 31, or 31st of March, 3 multiplied by 31 is 93. This is Aleister Crowley's cipher on Thelema religion, and of course this is Flight 93.
Flight 93. Oh,
yes, sure.
Was that the one that crashed in Pennsylvania?
United Airlines Flight 93 is the flight that came down in Pennsylvania, obviously.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was...
That was the fourth and final passenger jet to be commandeered by terrorists on September 11, which is absolutely true. I really believe that the United Air Flight 93 was being commandeered by terrorists. Yes, you have to ask the right questions.
Yeah, and the answer is our own government.
Oh, you sound like Daryl at the moment.
Well, it's true. It's true. I'm sorry. Painful. It hurts if you don't know that.
Yeah, there it is. Look at this. This application is submitted in triplicate with a photograph attached to each copy as required by set rule. Respectfully, Lee Jun Fan, Bruce Lee, 18 Trenton Street, San Francisco, California. This is the application on their journey back from the United States, San Francisco to Hong Kong. Read, please, the date.
March 31st, 1941.
March 31st. So.
Oh, that's when Brandon Lee was killed, wasn't it?
Just wait. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. 31st of March. And this is the 31st of March too. Must be a coincidence, of course.
Okay.
So, Brandon Lee shot by Michael Massey, MM33, Mercury, Angel, Hermes, etc., 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 while he was filming The Crow. Crow Lee. The name of that picture where he officially died was named Crow, the Crow. Don't you see? Mr. Lee plays the Crow. Crow Lee. Did I lose you?
No, you didn't lose me. Of course,
Okay.
I get it.
Okay. So Crow Lee. So what is the truth? When we are speaking about all this numerology and 67 Beacon Road, Petiting Pay, 13, and all this stuff, and everybody is confident that Bruce Lee's cause of death is this and that, and 5 years later and 5 years after they're coming with a new conclusion. I'm so sick of all this stuff here. I found that video here with that strange picture, and when I tried to download that video here from that birdie, Bruce Lee Central, which is often posting strange videos which have no substance, he says Bruce Lee is found dead in Betty Ting Pei's apartment and comes up with that strange picture here. And out of a sudden, when it has three hits, that video, I made a screenshot of it, and then 1 minute later it was gone. So I don't know what happens on the internet, but I don't believe anybody. I only believe my own conclusions, and you will see my own conclusions next time, not this time. Yeah, because everybody says that, yeah, I'm going to explain exactly how he died today. But on which purpose, on which substance, on which basis, on which foundation, please? I can't explain it. The only thing I can explain you that there is a really strange circumstances going on in both cases of Bruce and Brandon. And I don't believe in coincidences. Yeah, you see, all this BS is coming up by all these documentary channels, and I hope that we are the exception from the rule. He trained 14 hours a day, people, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days. When did he shoot? When did he sleep? You see that I'm sick of all this stuff. You see, when I know that I use symbolism in Game of Death with the card of the Death 13 and all the stuff, I know that there's something fishy going on because they're just making money out of death. So I can't believe anybody. I can't believe anybody. I even can't believe anything on the internet. So I can't explain what happened on that day. I know nothing, and I think that everything is BS. Yeah, there was no Game of Death script to be finished on that day. Yeah, even when somebody shows you an entrance here, Game of Death, yeah, that does not mean it is absolutely the script. Yeah, it's just Game of Death. Maybe he just wanted to look through some pictures. Nobody knows a thing. Even that can be faked. Everything can be faked. Yeah, everybody has an alibi. Nobody has prosecution. Nobody was condemned. It was just one single tablet of aspirin, which has a major problem because on May the 10th, 1973, when Bruce was rushed to the hospital with the same brain edema, he had not taken meprobamate or equagesic in any form. The second and more serious problem, Tom Bleecker says, and you have to believe him, is that Bruce has previously taken Miltown, which contains meprobamate, which was prescribed by him by Dr. Otto Au on October the 5th, 1972. So there goes your Wikipedia theory down the drain, I think. If you believe Tom Bleecker, maybe he's not informed correctly. So this theory is everything BS. You can wrap your minds around that, but you will never finish. And it's the same kind of Kennedy stuff. It is not important who killed him, but why he's not showing up anymore. The agenda behind it, that's the thing that I'm really interested in. I'm going not into Bruce Lee for 35 sessions to look if it's a tablet here, it's somebody there. Come on. It's overtraining, it's this and that and what else. Yeah, they took forever in the official theory, they took forever to get the medical attention, that's murder. Yeah. Pop Cult Master, once again, said that he took medication for a headache at Betty Ting's apartment, so I don't go that road. Too coincidentally, Ray was there on both occasions. Yeah, Raymond Chow, we know that he's CIA. Yeah, so I can't make anything out of all these people with their opinions. He was a good father and he was a husband and all the stuff. Yeah, so either, what was he? Was he 14 hours of training? Was he starring in several films? Or was he a good father? You can't have it all. You can't have it all. If you got a picture of somebody with Shannon, it does not mean he was a good father. Oh, come on. So I'm sick of all this stuff here. Yeah, so it was Ray who introduced Bruce to the actress known as Betty Ting Pei. Yeah. Raymond Chow, CIA, introduced Betty Ting Pei, who has official ties to police, China police, and all the stuff, who went to Switzerland for most likely training and all the stuff. Lee was smitten because she resembled a Japanese ex-girlfriend of him named Amy Sambo. And you think that Bruce Lee could have not gotten any else but Betty Ting Pei. I think there is much more to it. Much more to it. Wait for the next session. This is an actor here, which I have forgotten the name, which is in that video of Enter the Dragon when Bruce Lee is just flipping his nunchucks. And
yeah, that's right. And he's sitting there, what?
Yeah, and he will be also of a kind of importance. So whom do you believe in both cases? Bruce Lee, Brandon Bruce Lee. These are both actors, and everything could happen. And it happened conveniently on the March 31st. Yeah, so you got also on the March 31st, you got 313. You got the same initials as the famous picture 330 in the case of Kennedy. By the way, it's just a coincidence, of course.
Oh, wait a second now. Isn't it in old times, long ago, that March 31st was the last day of winter?
Mm-hmm.
First day of spring would be April 1st.
Oh yeah, that's a good that's a good way of putting it, and it's have you very good explained. Yeah, I've totally forgotten this. Yes, that's also true.
That's another explanation. Yeah,
he was not 27; he was 28.
Yeah. Well, you said that earlier in the script.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
session.
but I have to. I'm just.
In the article it says.
In the article, it's incorrectly.
I see. Well, that's a little typo.
Mm-hmm, yeah, it's always here a little typo. And the death of Brandon Lee resemblance the shooting with a live bullet in Game of Death. Yeah.
Right.
and then out of a sudden, in Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee's character, Mr. Lee, says, guns. Now, why don't somebody pull a 45 and bang, settle it on that island with Han? Yeah, so he's using a 45.
But Ian, this is a 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off.
Dirty Harry was long been shot when Enter the Dragon started to be filmed. I think they are just resembling to Dirty Harry, because Dirty Harry was also Warner Brothers. So in Game of Death, the weapon of choice to kill Bruce Lee's character in that movie was a Smith & Wesson Model 19, 19 being the number of the sun. Yeah? But it was not a 45 bullet, so most likely it was a 357. So can we see through all these things? I said, okay, Game of Death, Mel Novak, actor, character, stick, 1978. That character here, Mel Novak, who shot the Bruce Lee character in Game of Death, was an ordained minister, known for doing celebrity funerals and memorials for the likes of Chuck Connors, etc. Ordained minister. I said, okay, yeah, sure. An ordained minister who just playing a killer on a set. Oh, that's a strange world.
Yeah.
Stick loads the Smith & Wesson revolver with a real bullet instead of a blank he's given. Yeah. Remark, I said, finger with a ring. The ring on the finger, on the pinky finger, is Mercury, Hermes, sorcery. What is it? Ars Magna et Lucis Ambre? So, this is Stick firing the false Bruce Lee in Game of Death. So, Stick shoots Billy Lowe. BL, Bruce Lee. But Brandon Lee, according to the LA Times, has apparently killed by a 44 bullet. The 44 caliber handgun with which the younger Lee was shot was supposed to have contained blanks. It was the first time in the history of film that the leading actor had been shot and killed by a live round on the set, which is untrue. Because there was something else which I can't remember now, but I know it's somewhere. But it's interesting, huh? It was a 44 caliber handgun, not a 45. You think that it's just, does not matter. Yeah, so can the untimely death of Bruce Lee's son be blamed on the family curse? Why I'm speaking about Brandon Lee when it's about Bruce Lee? He's the son of Bruce Lee, so was the Lee family cursed? No, because it is no curse. Because Mr. Lee has been killed once again by a 44 Magnum. Can you see the obvious things? Because you have not been told the occult teachings of the ages. Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee were father and son linked by the action-packed world of martial art films and some say by an ancient Chinese curse that killed them both. Bruce Lee's film career began in Hong Kong with his explosive power and fluid grace. He almost single-handedly created an audience for martial arts films in the summer of '73. He was 32 years old and on the brink of international stardom. Then, on July the 20th, he took a prescription drug for a headache and laid down for a nap. Bruce Lee never got up. His funeral drew more than 25,000 mourners. Some say that Lee died from a family curse, but after an unprecedented 9-day inquest, the coroner announced his findings. Bruce Lee had died from a freak allergic reaction to a pain remedy. Author John Little has written extensively about the life of Bruce Lee, and he's been authorized, as an author, he's been authorized by the Bruce Lee estate run by Bruce Lee's widow, Linda Lee, and his daughter Shannon Lee. Brandon followed Bruce's path to the big screen as a star of martial arts film. He was 28 years old when he was fatally shot on the set of his fifth feature, The Crow. Mr. Lee plays The Crow. Was he also a victim of the Lee family curse? Just like Bruce Lee's death, the shooting of Brandon Lee renewed speculation about the Lee curse. But can this be tragedy really be attributed to supernatural forces? Maybe it's just the Feng Shui mirror. After nearly 50 eyewitnesses and more than a dozen ballistic tests, Detective Rodney Simmons and Brian Pettis of the Wilmington, North Carolina Police Department pieced together the strange 6-week journey of the bullet destined to kill Brandon Bruce Lee. According to Detective Simmons, the bullets were purchased as a pawn shop. Sure. A stagehand gathered hundreds of props. Among them was a box of live 44 Magnum bullets. According to Detective Pettis, the first link in the fatal chain of events was now in place. They dressed the set up with all the items that they received. They placed the 44 rounds on a counter that was used in the scene. The stunt coordinator said when he found the live ammunition on the set, he was livid. The bottom line rule is that you don't have live ammunition on a set. I'm running out of steam here. So then goes this, and then goes that, and then goes this is wrong, and that is wrong, and that is wrong, and it's all a mere coincidence. The stunt coordinator locked the bullets in the trunk of his car when they would remain for another 2 weeks. It was one of these bullets that would eventually kill Brandon Lee. Understanding the tragic events to come required some knowledge of bullets and blanks. A live bullet has a lead tip, a load of gunpowder, and an explosive charge known as a primer. Once the trigger is pulled, the hammer hits the primer. The primer then detonates, igniting the power. The explosive force of burning power shots the lead tip towards the target. Blanks are bullets with a harmless disc of cardboard instead of a lead tip and have a smaller gunpowder load. They may have 1/4 or 1/2 the normal charge. When fired, blanks create a visible but harmless flash. A dummy round looks like a bullet but cannot be fired. It has a cartridge and a lead tip only. No gunpowder, no primer. On the set of The Crow, the crew needed blanks. To save time, the fateful decision was made to modify the live rounds that they had. According to Detective Pettis, the crew removed the lead tip and powder, leaving only the cartridge and primer. Quote, they did what they did. What's hidden here?
Yeah, there you go. There. Yep.
So what
You
they
got
did,
it right.
so what they did is they fired off some of the blanks that they'd made and took those casings and put the lead tips back in the casings. But what they didn't do was check the primers to see if they had been all fired when they made the dummy rounds. So they got it some mixed up. So they made at least one dummy round that had a primer still intact. And for some strange circumstances, this bullet hit Brandon Bruce Lee. So his entire name is Brandon Bruce Lee. So is an ancient curse to blame for their death. That one dummy round had an explosive primer and a lead tip. The crew used the dummy rounds for the close-up of somebody firing a 44 Magnum. This is not a 45 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world. The detective said that at least 2 people heard a popping noise. No one realized it was the sound of a primer firing, exploding with just enough force to dislodge the lead tip from the bullet casing and wedged it into a gun barrel, and there it would remain undetected for another 14 days, awaiting its fateful meaning with Brandon Lee. So, my remark is, so they would not check a weapon before handing it over to an actor, and that actor is supposedly Michael Massey and his well, it's just a coincidence. The biggest failures were not having a gun expert on the set and taking shortcuts to save time and money. However, the chain of negligence involved so many people that convicting any one of them was unlikely. No criminal charges were filed. Look at this sentence here. In the end, it seems that Brandon Lee was truly a victim of circumstance, or was he, as some claim, the final casualty of the family curse? In this movie, Bruce Lee's character... I have to apologize once again. Back to Father Bruce Lee. I know it's sort of a mess. Yeah. In his movie, or in his fabricated movie, Bruce Lee's character, Billy Lowe, BL, is shot with a prop gun by a stick that was secretly made to fire a real bullet and kill him. Lee's son Brandon Lee was killed on the set of The Crow, Die Krähe in Deutsch, when a prop pistol accidentally shot him in the abdomen. What a coincidence. Okay, the difference is that Game of Death, the bullet went into the head, and in The Crow, the bullet went into the stomach. A comment. I read behind-the-scenes book on the movie that a crew member wrote that it was a mess of a production. People overworked, long hours and rushing things, then having live ammunition on set, just stupid and lazy. Just look and look and look and look. Look at the Rust movie recently, live ammo on set, and somebody was killed. Wasn't it Alex, what's the husband, ex-husband of some other celebrity, Alex Baldwin? Yeah. It was a family curse. It was a family curse. It was a family curse. So that's the most likely. For most of people, it was a family curse. He was killed by mistake. They probably didn't have the safety caps on, and that could cost him his life. Yeah, we are in the Antichrist spirit. People believe everything. It was an accident. Depressing. It was an accident. Theories. My. Bruce Lee's widow, Linda Catwilly, had never been interested in any real investigations into her husband Bruce Lee's death, nor her son Brandon Lee's death. Both times she was eager to collect the insurance money or civil lawsuit settlement, and quickly closed the case despite the fact that the official police report's explanation for how Brandon Lee died was scientifically impossible. It would seem that Linda was never interested in the truth but in collecting large compensation money and closing the case. How could a mother be more interested in money than justice for her own son? Well, the Bible clearly puts the matter into perspective. Huh?
Right. Yeah.
A few days after Bruce Lee mysteriously died from a headache tablet, she was quickly to say that no foul play was involved before any investigation was ever even conducted. Why was she so sure? And when Brandon Lee became the first man in movie making history to die from the tip of a bullet lodged in a gun firing blanks, she never pushed for a real investigation. Instead, she accepted a huge private settlement compensation and closed the case. Yeah, it's like Jacqueline Kennedy, who said that, well, if I would know, that wouldn't bring him back, huh? Apparently, she's not a truth seeker or a critical thinker. She isn't even bothered by the fact that the official explanation for what happened to Brandon was scientifically impossible. Yes. Hollywood, one weapons expert named Richard Mazzocchi considered the theory put forth by the police suggesting that a dummy slug without gunpowder was accidentally lodged in the chamber and was discharged by a blank that was loaded in later as improbable. I would say that's a 1 in a million chance that would happen. Until somebody tests that theory and proves it to happen, it is my experience of 22 years, and I said, oh no, not again, of handling weapons. I've never seen that happen. So I do not know if that guy is credible or not. 22 years, okay. A dummy bullet will fall out, or if it was lodged, it wouldn't come out at all. Webb Birdsong, one of the nation's leading experts on weapons, told his writer that the official theory does not work. It makes assumptions that can't hold up. You have a better chance of winning the Irish sweet stakes than of the firing of a blank forcing out a projectile left in a barrel with such force as to cause that kind of damage. What are Irish sweepstakes? I do not know.
The Irish sweepstakes?
I do not know.
That means your chances are probably next to impossible, right?
Still not sure. We located another firearm expert who tested the theory. He took a 44 Magnum like the one used by Michael Massey. He lodged a dummy bullet in the barrel and then loaded a fully loaded blank, firing into a sack of sand placed 20 feet away, not 22. The approximate distance between Brandon and Massey, the bullet traveled only 4 feet before falling harmlessly to the ground. Anyway, he said, even if it did work, there's no way it happened. Even if there was only one take with the firing of the weapon by Massey, there was no way to get the force needed to propel that projectile into Lee with the power that resulted in the internal damage done to him. If the projectile propelled out, it would have either fallen down before it got to Lee or bounced right off of him. But that can't be, because an actor called Michael Massey, MM33, he said, I wasn't even supposed to be handling the gun in the scene till we started. So everything was a total mess. And the gun in the scene till we started shooting the scene, and then director changed it, so you know that the director is in it. As we told earlier, an unidentified special effects expert had told Detective Simmons that there was a possibility of 2 guns, and they got mixed up the night Brandon Lee was killed. Although Simmons refused to identify the person, our sources told us it was Bruce Merlin. It was Merlin who apparently said that the shooting could have resulted from a mixed up of 2 prop guns. If there were 2 guns identical in appearance on the set, the theory is viable. An astounding fact uncovered during our investigation adds measurably to this possibility. So, like the JFK assassination, the official version of what happened cannot be replicated by anyone under the same conditions. Very strange. And now I have to take my breath, because you see that. We know that the theory of the Bruce Lee death cannot hold up. We know that the theory of Brandon Lee's death cannot hold up. So what's the deal? What's the truth in it? What's the truth? You know that the official theory is absolutely bullocks.
Yeah.
Lee didn't back from the Chinese gangsters who wanted to muscle in his career. Do you know what they have done to actors and actresses who didn't play? One famous actor, they made him eat his own... What else? Lee was so bad...
Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah. Lee was so bad he tore up their checks in front of their faces. I do not know where the credibility of that article is, but just for the heck. When filming Enter the Dragon, just for fun, Lee would put his hand on the chopping block for the cooks to slam down. They always missed. He had a razor-sharp trading device, electrified. Anyone who says I could take Bruce Lee just has to reconstruct this device and he'll be in the running. I don't know any fighter who would do this. In other words, he was either supremely confident or crazy or both. Everybody can write some lines on the internet, huh? Nobody knows. DeMille says Bruce could beat us all the time. So the only thing that I would be sure of, that Bruce Lee didn't die in a 1-to-1 combat. So, was Bruce Lee actually murdered? My personal feelings, I do not know who that is, I got so many sources, I would have to look it up, is that he was killed, he was assassinated. The community in Hong Kong saw him as a very big threat. But the official theory is a complete hogwash. I don't believe it for a minute. Bruce Lee was a gold mine. There's no way that they are going to kill their golden goose. Yeah, that's the same that Kung Fu Genius talks. Yeah, we know otherwise, huh? We know that... what do we know? We know nothing. But we have claims that he was going to the United States. He said he was the first Oriental superstar in the United States. You remember? Yeah. Theories. What was the name of the prop master from the set of The Crow whose negligence led to Brandon Lee's death? And you're being tossed around in the same way as in Father Bruce Lee. Yeah? You can imagine, I have read all this and I've typed all of this the day before he died. At 13 hours and 4 minutes. Sure, 13. James Moyer was the prop master on the set, just in case you're interested, but he was sent home early as it was thought he wasn't needed. The metal tip of one of the dummy bullets had somehow pulled loose from its brass casing when the dummies were unloaded and blah, la, 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 la. And there was a hole in Brandon's abdomen the size of a small coin. Later, somebody recalled, and they were just driving to the New Hanover Medical Center. Surgeon Dr. Warren Murray tried to stop the bleeding, but after a 5-hour operation, there was little improvement in Brandon's condition. And so that, according to some experts, it can't be the work of a dummy bullet. Yeah, once again, it's a 44 caliber bullet. But it must be death by misadventure. So the father rose and made his early exit, and the son also rose and made his own premature exit. What are the odds that these almost identical events were a coincidence? Is it not true that Bruce Lee died while filming Game of Death? No, it's not true, because he died not while filming, because that script is a total fabrication. So, where shall I start? Where shall I start? Brandon was not playing with the triads, and you see that I'm fed up with all the stuff. You see that everybody is talking something, and there was once an actor called John Eric Hexum was fooling around with a prop pistol, placing it to his head and saying, how many can I take with me before pulling the trigger? When he did, the wadding shot out, striking Hexum's skull and breaking off. And maybe that guy had been died. Officially had been. Tja, but everybody puts the finger to Game of Death, of course, which we also did. So it's always tossed around. We got 80 pages left, or 90. I do not know how to take this in 30 minutes, but I try. Yeah, so it's the triads. It's no way around. They have murdered both Bruce Lee and Brandon. Okay, case closed. Yeah, Robert Lee, also younger brother, says that the family believes that Lee was killed by the mafia. So what am I going to do here? And it's just Mason and Co. in the center circle and sun rays around it, which is a common Masonic symbol. No. It's a common symbol of the people who have written some books like Athanasius Kircher did on Ars Magna.
Or Sun Tzu.
Lucis et Ambre, yeah. And
right.
if you would be the killer, would you leave a hint in the movie? Would you? Would you? Would you do it? I don't know.
Well, yeah, of course you would, especially if you're in such a big society that no one really understands what you're telling them.
Okay.
Yeah, you're totally confusing the masses. I mean, that's what they always do. So,
So maybe Linda has given him poison coffee, and yeah.
Who knows?
All that you know is that you see two gravestones, and that both men there were just victims of fame. That's all you know. And whom do you trust? Yeah? Whom do you trust? The Divine Wind Forum says, just before Brandon died, he claimed that he has evidence about the real death of his father. Is this true? Do you know more about it? Can you read it? Because I have to save my voice.
Oh, yeah. I have heard that Brandon had made public a statement that he intended on reopening the investigation of his father's death after he, Brandon, finished filming The Crow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then it continues. When I was married to Linda, Brandon often came to the house to sit in what I call, quote unquote, the Bruce Lee room and read over his father's files. Was Bruce given poison by the herbalist, and this caused his death? Tom Bleecker, certainly a strong possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. There was a big row the night before Lee died with Raymond Chow over the business accounts, and even after Bruce passing there were problems over the rights of Enter the Dragon. Bruce is not buried in Seattle. Bruce's body was in unusual condition, not linked to the official story of his passing. Betty Ting Pei, a few years after Lee's passing, gave some of Bruce's closest to a famous Hong Kong comedian. Yeah, so this is an interview here with Tom Bleecker. There's whom to trust. Whom to trust. Yeah, Linda and her lawyer closed the book on the case and got as much of the money from the insurance company as they could for Linda and the children.
Yep. That's right.
So what you have to see that is that managers and film companies are usually controlling actors like Tony Jaa from Ong Bak. Yeah, they control everything. What movies Jaa Phanom, that's his real name, Jaa Phanom was working on, his paycheck and everything. They control the actors. And then some actor comes up and said, "Oh, I don't want to do this. I just want to have my own production company." Yeah, so that's a valuable theory, as well as you know that 1997, on The Crow was 1993, and 1997 was then the year that China took over Hong Kong. And so that was, so to speak, the last chance to reopen any files.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's just an interview, and so what is the truth? What is the truth? Tom Blicker says, I doubt that Linda would have allowed Bruce's grave to be filled with cement. That said, I had a problem in my investigative work regarding to finding a burial certificate in Seattle. By law, the death certificate and burial certificate must follow the body. I didn't get into this in Unsettled Matters, but the suggestion was that Bruce's body was not in the grave in Seattle, but the evidence was and still is vague. Nobody knows a thing. That's a great thing. Tom Blicker says, the issue of the death of Bruce Lee is closed forever. The reason being that the English Hong Kong Police Department and British government no longer exist. Hong Kong has now returned to mainland China. As to Brandon's tragic death, this is still open to new information and evidence. Where do you want to start?
Huh.
I have to look it up. Legendary rumors about the father's death seemed ready baked for the sons. Crows are symbols of death both in the East and the West. Some Chinese are superstitious about the word death being used in titles. One of the fables about the elderly's demise was the gods or fate or karma or something killed him for naming his work in progress Game of Death. The seeming relationship between the death and Bruce and Brandon Lee caused greater confusions about the elder Lee's exit. Details became blurred, intertwined. Many people came to remember Bruce Lee as having been shot and murdered, which is untrue. Within weeks of Brandon Lee's death, the son's story had become a footnote in the father's legend. Somebody who might have got a glimpse of knowing something could be Gig Young, because Gig Young was the interviewer of James Dean in this famous traffic commercial, and Gig Young was a collector of guns. And it was very strange that shortly after he has just been in that movie, he officially shot his newly married wife and himself. So maybe something that Gig Young knew didn't make it to the screen. That was...
He shot himself and his wife?
Yeah, I told you. That was the interviewer who interviewed James Dean. Drive safely. The life you save could be mine, might be mine, said James Dean, who I think it was right. two weeks later then had a fatal accident. And that is Gig Young. That is the same guy who was just been here in Game of Death. The word is so small.
Yeah.
Popcode Master says, Michael Chan, that is the famous triad, Michael Chan Wei Man, whose district is Tsim Sha Tsui. And he's the Hong Kong boxing champion. And he protected and acted alongside Brandon Lee in the latter's only Hong Kong movie, Legacy of Race. It's too telling that Brandon accepts DNB, who Andrew Morgan, you know that guy, how these pressurized area, the 747, and the oppressive heat in the mirror room, but not Raymond Chow. This is really saying a lot, since Brandon was a fan of Jackie's police story. He wanting resolution regarding his father's death, hence spending some time abroad. He may have wanted to request a copy of the inquest along with copies of the corpse photos. The fact that Mike was okay with doing business with Brandon is an indication that he wouldn't want him dead. Can remember Michael Chan Wei Man never did business with Bruce Lee. One of the actors in Brandon's movie was from Fist of Unicorn. His name is Mang Hoi. Reading between the lines, it would appear that Stacy was a front for the 40K triad, Michael Chan Wei Man's triad. They could have helped Bruce against Lo Wei Sun Yi-on connections if it wasn't for him wanting to sue the studio for filming behind his back and implying that he had an acting role. Oh, it's getting more and more complicated every time.
Yeah. Sheesh.
March 1993. Brandon announced that he was going to have the case reopened and his dead bodies exhumed after filming The Crow. Tom Bleecker does not confirm this. Certain people had warned him not to do so. Around this time, David Miller, the author of The Tower of Bruce Lee, worked as a co-writer on The Curse of the Dragon. His research assistant was on the phone with someone from Carolco Studios who were producing The Crow, so that time could be set for Miller to drive down to Wilmington, North Carolina for the purpose of interviewing Brandon. During the conversation on the last day of the month, 31st, the Carolco woman came on and said there had just been an accident on the set. She would call back as soon as she could. Brandon was shot during the shooting of a death scene. Bruce fans are reminded of a scene in Game of Death. The protagonist dies while filming a scene cribbed from the ending of Fist of Fury. Bruce's death had drawn comparisons to the death of a teacher in Fist of Fury. Brandon died on March 31st, like how Unicorn Chan, the body of Bruce Lee, died on March 31st in 1987. Unicorn's death meant that Robert Klaus could not interview him for Bruce Lee, the biography. That is Brandon Lee, by the way. And now my remarks on that. Popcorn Master writes, 2022. I finally got around to reading the childhood section of Matthew Pauly's biography, and I was taken aback by the snake references. The first reference, Grandma Lee nicknamed him Tiny Phoenix, the female counterpart to the dragon in Chinese mythology, in order to keep him safe from the ox ghost and snake spirits who hurt little boys. This is an extract on the Robert Klaus, director of Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee biography. When Bruce was born, he was given a girl's nickname, Little Phoenix, as a diversionary tactic, and his ears were pierced to further confound the evil ones. He was born in the year of the dragon and the hour of the dragon between 6 and 8 in the morning. The second reference, Bruce wore thick horn-rimmed glasses and his ear was pierced to protect him from boys stealing snake demons. But what I did not mention until now is the phoenix. The phoenix is a purple or red bird, an alchemical symbol of the rebirth of the sun or so, used by the Gnostics, Greeks, and the Phoenicians. City of Tyre, you know, the king of Tyre, Brett? Lamentation of the king of Tyre, that is Ezekiel 28.
I see. Oh.
In it,
Yeah.
Tyre at a
Good
33-degree parallel. In it represents the last phase of reddening, the rebirth of the soul inverted as takeover of the soul, immortality through rebirth of Lucifer. It is related to the Egyptian Bennu bird, the winged serpent and sun disk symbol, and the Masonic symbol of the two-headed eagle. Or shall we remind on Athanasius Kirche, Ars Magna Lucis et Ambre, the two-headed eagle? The city Phoenix was built in Arizona, also on a 33-degree parallel. The city of San Francisco, built by the Franciscans, has a phoenix on its flag. So, was Bruce Lee named Little Phoenix to distract the gods, or was he maybe called Little Phoenix because he was born in San Francisco?
That's right.
You see, the double-headed eagle, which is also called the phoenix. The flag's central symbol, a rising phoenix, often is assumed to refer to the city's recovery from the 1906 earthquake and subsequent fires. Brad, I think that is as likely as the Golden Bridge is not being painted golden.
Yeah, that's right.
History, yeah.
Oh, isn't that interesting? A yellow and white theme, huh?
Coincidence.
Isn't that interesting?
Coincidence.
Oh, so interesting.
Big
And look at
coincidence.
that. It's like gold, like the gold fringe that surrounds the United States flag since what year? Like 33 or something?
The Golden Gate Bridge has, of course, been built in 33. Yeah, sure.
Oh, was it? Oh, how fitting.
Yeah, gold in peace and iron in war. Iron is Mars once again. Yeah, so circle of iron. Oh yeah.
Iron in war. Oh,
Circle
yeah,
of circle of iron. You see that? Oh, it's
it says Rome all over it, Michael. Wow.
so you see that's the flag of San Francisco until 1940. Bruce Lee had been born on the 27th of November 1940. So that was the flag at the time.
Oh, so is this Orion and Paz Piero and Gura? What is that? I wonder what that means.
That is a symbol of a 3-hour session. That means gold in peace and iron in war.
Ah, okay, that's what it was.
That's
Golden
what it was,
peace,
yes.
Iron in war.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
very
every time they're not speaking about an eagle, but they're speaking about a phoenix, okay? So that we can agree on that.
Right.
And now, look at this. In December 1940, which means that is very close after the birth of Bruce Lee, the Board of Supervisors added to this new flag the name San Francisco in bold blue letters and codified all of these elements as the official San Francisco flag. The yellow border, now reproduced as a part of the flag, was originally intended to be a gold fringe, but mistakenly became incorporated into the design. Don't believe it.
Oh, such a mistake. Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Such a mistake. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Writers Shakespeare, C.S. Lewis, and all used the phoenix motif. Jesuit, Edith Nesbit, Fabian Society, Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn wrote the phoenix and the carpet. The phoenix is on the apron of the Masonic 18th degree on the Scottish Rite. What was it about the 18th of July when the Feng Shui mirror broke on Bruce Lee's house? And that is page 379. We have talked about 18. 18. That was Dorian Gray. 18 years. 18 years. 18 years earlier. 18 years. The 18th degree. Yeah, 18th degree. Okay, like the 18 years of Dorian Gray. Phoenix on the apron of the Freemason. So Freemason has something to do with the Phoenix. San Francisco has something to do with the Phoenix. San Francisco, you might think, has something to do with Freemasons. The 18th
And look
degree.
at that, the sign of the cross, too.
Yeah, the 18th degree are the Knights of the Rose Croix, of the Rose Rouges.
Oh, how fitting.
How fitting, huh?
Yeah, 666 degree Knight of the...
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That teaches laws of universal or universality and tolerance.
Yeah, tolerance means that you accept evil. Yeah, that's tolerance.
Catholicism and tolerance, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
My.
Mix it all up. Mix it all up. That's
Herodom.
great. Yeah.
Herodom, HRDM, is somebody says in Freemasons magazine that the word Herodom is derived from Heros, holy Domos house, hence the holy house of masonry. Oh, come on! It never ends. It never ends.
Could that mean whoredom? I don't know.
The rosy cross of the whole house of masonry. It gets better and better every day, every minute here.
Yeah.
Oh, my. It is explained in the word of Manly P. Hall, an angel with burning hairs on the 20th judgment card, letter shin fire.
Total bullocks, eh?
It's never ending. It's never ending here. It's really never ending. Yeah. In Tiedemann, you see 93, 31st of March, Brandon Lee. There is no real death and resurrection of the body like in the aeon of Osiris. Christ, the magician, fakes his own death like the sun disappears and reappears. The figure of the emperor, the hanged man, the Sharon Tate ritual, or WTC on that regard.
Yeah.
make all 4 signs of sulfur with their legs. Other birds associated with alchemy are the raven or crow. Oh, the crow. There was some movie with Brandon Lee. Swan, pelican, and peacock. 2007, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. Alchemical phoenix symbolism, predictive programming of the James Holmes Phoenix Ritual at the Dark Knight Rises premiere with Gary Oldman and London Olympics with Prince William, and Harry. The Order of the Phoenix. It has nothing to do, of course, with Ordo Templi Orientis, Freemasonry and all the stuff. It's just a coincidence. And it is, of course, I think this is a scrying ball, huh? Could it be?
Yeah,
Huh?
that's right.
John D. Mirror and Reflections, Ars Magna, Lucis and Ambre.
Right.
My. Scenes in London, Blackfriars Bridge, where Heath Ledger plays the hanged man. Yeah, like Roberto Calvi, huh? What a coincidence, yeah? So, refer to Carradine. I do not know where to start, really. I do not know where to start. When you see all these these coincidences with the 1973 Live and Let Die, with the new can opener model of the transhumanist. And when you here see the cheese slicer from the transhumanist, Leonardo Fioravanti came up with the idea of the cheese slicers on the Ferrari Testarossa. It was from Enter the Dragon. But there is another possibility when we're talking about that Bruce Lee was having the name of Little Phoenix to protect him from the gods. Maybe there was an influence of the Freemasons. Huh? Who knows? San Francisco? What does that have to do with Bruce Lee? Oh my. Nothing. Maybe. Just a coincidence. Yeah. It's just tomato. Or what else?
Tomato paste, yes.
Yeah. When we can agree on the fact that these actors are in secret societies, and that secret societies are equal to secret services, and we know that the occultists of Order of the Golden Dawn, Hermeticism, and Order Templi Orientis and OTO and all the stuff, Aleister Crowley, Argentum Astrum, and that Crowley himself was an agent for the MI6. I present you the last theory, which is straight coming out of this book, Aleister Crowley, The Book of Lies. With nothing else than a sun symbol.
In the sign of Anu, of course.
Mm-hmm. May I introduce to you the world-famous occultist and Satanist, which in real life most likely was a secret agent called Aleister Crowley. Once again, this where all the mass starts. It's the Mass of the Phoenix from Thelimapedia. Aleister Crowley wrote the Mass of the Phoenix number 44. Remember, Brandon Lee was being shot by which caliber?
44.
44, not 45. A ritual of the Ordo Templi Orientis with the phoenix in its flag with the cake of light. The cake of light is a Eucharistic host found within Thelema, the religion founded by British author and occultist Aleister Crowley. Oh, they missed out his secret agency in 1904 and some neo-Gnostic religions. And I don't want to talk about the cake of light because that is menstrual blood and you don't want to know everything. The Mass of the Phoenix is a ritual within Thelema. Remember Thelema, it's 93. The number is 93, which, before you forget it and I forget it, it's the number 93. It's not only the flight 93, which where the flight of a plane, which is male, dropped into
3 times 31, you said, yeah.
Yeah. But you have to see the resemblance here. 93 is also flight 93, yeah, where a plane, yeah, so phallus went into the ground, yeah, and could not be found. It went into the ground and could not be found. And when you think that is all coincidence, it is just my typos here because it's close to midnight. Yeah, into the ground, and we have male and female. The ground is the soil, is the female, is the womb. Yeah, so 93 is Thelema. Yeah, it's flight 93. So 3 by 331 on the 31st of March, Brandon Bruce Lee with the 44 Magnum. Sure. Huh? That's the Mass of the Phoenix resemblance, at least the number 44, because it is chapter 44 in the book, Liber, the Book of Lies. The Book of Lies, how can it be more obvious than this? Yeah, the Book of Lies.
May as well be called the father of lies, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Within this ritual, the practitioner consumes a cake of light, and I have also a video with somebody who's just been practicing the ritual of the Mass of the Phoenix. Mass of the Phoenix. So, Brandon Lee died on March 31st, 1993 at 13 hours and 3 minutes. Brandon died 70 days before his own wedding, and he and Eliza Hutton were already engaged and should be married immediately after the end of the movie. In the movie The Crow, Brandon Lee plays the character of Eric Draven, who is killed along with his girlfriend with whom they were going to get married. It's just a coincidence, of course. And the death of Bruce Lee and the death of Brandon Lee, at least officially, sums up to B11. That's the last picture, except it isn't. The last picture is this. And you won't understand this last picture without a proper explanation. If that mirror room serves a certain purpose, and if it is to superimpose the picture of a everlasting youth of Bruce Lee and the best and superhuman and what else, then it is not only the room itself which left an extreme impression on the people, but the images in the room who left a severe expression. And I hope that I got it here for you. And this is the picture. Because if you have closely followed the explanation, you have a hard time if not somebody is putting you right into this, that this picture has something to do with the Mass of the Phoenix of Aleister Crowley. Let's just check it at the example of Brad. Brad.
Yes.
You listen to the Mass of the Phoenix of Aleister Crowley. It is in the Book of Lies.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a certain chapter in the Book of Lies. Can you recall the number of that chapter?
44.
Okay.
Of course.
And now you look at the image of Bruce Lee.
Oh. 4 slashes on the cheek, 4 slashes on the chest.
Yes.
On the left side.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's on the left side of his chin and the right side of his chest. And the Mass of the Phoenix requires,
It's on the right side of the chest, yes. And
yeah.
The left side of the
cheek.
left
side, yes. Left side of the cheek, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a little confused, but
He's got, on the other side of the face, he got 3 lashes. And he's got on the stomach also 3. Yeah, but we need 44. Like in the case of Brandon Lee with the caliber of 44. You got here in the mirror room, you see, you got the 44.
Right.
And he's called, from his superstitious grandma, we have been told, he's been called the Little Phoenix.
Well, and 44 is 11 times 4.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So yeah, it all adds up to 44. Right.
Mm-hmm. So, there is a certain possibility that it has to do with Freemasonry, because San Francisco, city with the Phoenix, it has to do with secret services, it has to do with losing face, it has to do with the missing eyebrow, it has to do with so many things. And the ritual of the Mass of the Phoenix requires a cake of light and some fluids and something else. And you got here the mark of the beast, because this is really a mark of the beast. Nobody has these kind of fingers. We are talking about an artificial hand here. We are talking about somebody who has been made it into superstardom after that movie. And I think there is a high proximity that it has something to do with a secret society, because in the case of Brandon Lee, we got the caliber of 44, and we got 4 and 4.
Scars?
Yeah,
Scars.
yeah. And you got 4 and 4 scars on one of the most famous images of Bruce Lee in the mirrored room. And this has to be also in resemblance to that Ars Magna Lucis et Ambre. So this is just Wikipedia, or this is just sacred text. Yeah, the magician, his breast bare, stands before an altar, and which is his Birwin bell, thuribil, and 2 pairs cakes of light, and blah 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 blah. Yeah. He strikes 11 times upon the bell. Oh yeah, what a coincidence, huh? Here is the bread, here is the blood. I know, it sounds extremely far-fetched, I can't help it. But it's also not my theory, I found it on another page. But I found it very fitting because the number 4 and 4 and 44 always pops up together with Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee. And to combine everything that we have talked about, that I have talked about, you will need one further big session, which we do next time. And so this was a theory of a ritual. I hope it makes some sense to you, and I hope that you see these are all actors on a global stage, and there's always something fishy behind it that nobody in the Wikipedia mainstream world will tell you. And I just only want to spend time once in my entire life to go into this nitty-gritty. But my faith in this world, with all the lies, with all the bunch, with all the artists, with all the distraction, with all these Ars Magna Lucis et Ambri, has been shattered like the mirrors in the Enter the Dragon movie. Thanks so much for having me, and handing it over to my beloved brother Brett.
Michael, good way to describe, the so-called dream of success. And obviously, there are those that are driven to perform like Bruce Lee, who, are entirely under the influence of this world, and they don't connect to the alternative that God has graciously given to those that actually have taken the time to really think about their faith and what it really means. And well, that's what we do on this channel, is we take the time to think about what evidence God has left for us to consider, especially in the Bible, especially in history, through all of the troubles that come with it. Because who to trust, Michael? Not easy to trust man. It's not at all easy to do, because we are inherently corrupt. We are inherently liars. We are inherently given to all sorts of pleasures and false claims. And when you sum it all up, we're sinners, and we've fallen short, and there is no way to absolve that sin. Although the Catholic system will tell you, oh, the priest can absolve your sin, but in the Bible, that's not true. It is God alone who absolves you of sin. So you must pray to God in private, and you must be sincere in order for God to actually take notice of you. I believe personally, from what has been shown to me through my own personal journey. But all of us differ in the sense that we have different experiences, I guess, Michael, is what I want to say. Mm-hmm. So I would have never thought of these circumstances that you're presenting, Michael, is very, very intriguing to me, to see what you're going to conclude with all of this, because Michael has not shared with me the entire script. He's shared little bits and pieces, but I always tell Michael, I like surprises. Like the rest of you out there, we're going to be headed for a very special session next time, and I hope you're able to join us. God willing, we'll get these up online. And as always, God be with you. Study your Bible. God bless his people. Catch you next time. Bye-bye.